I posted a follow along with both pistol and shrimp squats, and I haven't taught you on this channel how to do those. So I figured it'd be a good opportunity to break down some of these regressions that are going to help you progress into those more demanding movements and positions of the shrimp and pistol squat. The thing that's going to help you progress with the shrimp and pistol squat is support. And I've got a chain link fence here, a wall, the park bench or picnic table that you're sitting on right now. That works really well. I also like a countertop. So I'm going to start on the outside leg, right? I'm going to lift up and balance on this with support through here. Now I want to make sure that as I go into this movement, right, I'm not going to lose this connection between my rib cage and my pelvis, okay? And that's going to change on both the pistol and the shrimp squat, but the intention in your body doesn't really change. One of the things that I experienced when going through, let's say, the shrimp squat first was like, you can see I'm overly extended, I'm not really in my core, and I'm not really able to leverage the center of my body. Same thing with the pistol. As I was coming down, right, maybe a little rounded here and closing off that expansion in the front side of my body. So that's going to be a big thing for you to be aware of as you go through this. So I'm going to sink into ankle flexion, knee flexion, and hip flexion, not super deep. And I'm going to focus on driving through the big toe pad, the outer pad, and the heel of my foot to build up some tension, some ability to load through this leg with connection. The other thing to note when getting into more of these demanding single leg squats is not just using this for support in terms of balance, but also force. So for instance, if I'm gonna go into that shrimp squat, I can press into my hand as much as I need to. This is going to be a reference point for my center, and I got to make sure I maintain that so I'm able to put pressure down through my foot and as much help as I need through here, right? Over time, I can start to offload more into the leg, and over time, I can start to come off completely. While we're not adding weights to progress, we are finding ways to consistently load the system, tax the system a little bit more so we can progress and build strength with simply our body weight. So I gave you some major pieces on how I have built strength in the pistol and shrimp squat after these movements really didn't feel very good. Now I'm going to summarize it all for you so you've got a simple progression that you can follow. So all you're going to need is some sort of support. You want to establish, let's say this is the wall here, you want to establish the ability to drive through the foot and feel that connection up through the body. You can start to hinge back a little bit more, make sure that we're staying connected between rib cage and pelvis, and this will be a little bit more of that shrimp. If I start to come more upright, maybe a little bit more tuck of the pelvis, that's going to help me drive through this leg and build that strength. As you start to feel stronger in this range, you can start to sink a little bit lower. Once we establish some of these positions, we can start to move through them. If I'm going into that shrimp squat, right, I can sink down, feel the load through this leg, and then drive up. Something you can do to give yourself a little task is maybe putting a yoga block or something down there where you can tap your knee down and work at that range so you've got a good idea that you're hitting that same depth on both sides. For that pistol squat, I'm just going to extend this leg out, start to sink down. I can walk down and then just really focus on driving up through the leg, feeling connection through the entire body. I know this is a lower body exercise, but it really is a full body exercise. Now, I can also use this to put force in for, let's say, the shrimp squat, and I can start to lighten the load. As I talked about earlier, I can really grip this and use that support as I go through. I can also really start to lighten that and build confidence using the support that is necessary for me to complete the movement. One I like for the pistol with the post is going to be hugging the pole here, or gripping the pole. And this way I can extend my leg out and I can work through this. Now, the big thing you got to remember is not relying so much on this where you lose that hip and that glute. So continue to drive through the ground and stand up. Those are really the progressions that are going to support you in building that connection so you can hit this shrimp squat. Use those hands if you need to, whenever you want to. Pistol squat, whenever you want to. Hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Let me know how this goes for you, and I'll see you next time. Stay smooth.